Pursuant to notice, I call up H.J. Res. 122, a resolution providing for congressional disapproval under Chapter 8, Title 5, United States Code of the rules submitted by the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau relating to credit card penalty fees, introduced by the gentleman from Kentucky, Mr. Barr. The clerk will report the resolution, which was distributed in advance.
H.J. Res. 122, providing for congressional disapproval under Chapter 8 of Title 5, United States Code of the rules submitted by the Bureau of Consumer Financial Protection relating to credit card penalty fees.
Without objection, the resolution is considered read. I recognize myself for 5 minutes in support of my resolution. I urge all my colleagues to support H.J. Resolution 122, the Congressional Review Act resolution to nullify the CFPB's disastrous credit card late fee rule. Yesterday, we had a hearing about oversight of the CFPB, and the Democratic witness asked, why would anybody be against reducing late fees? Reducing late fees makes things easier for people who pay late. But the problem is, to help push the Biden administration's war on so-called junk fees using weapons of junk economics, the CFPB has actually penalized Americans who pay their credit cards on time and are trying to build credit for a better financial future. The late fee rule, which cuts the safe harbor for late fees from $30 to $8, will result in on-time borrowers subsidizing those who do not pay on time. Only in Joe Biden's world is that fair, to punish people who do the right thing in order to subsidize people who pay late. It will result in increased costs of and decreased access to credit products and a negative shift in consumer behavior where individuals are actually incentivized to take on additional debt. That is not helpful to consumers. This increased debt will lead to lower credit scores, which in turn hampers one's ability to achieve the goal of home ownership, finance a car, and access credit in other capacities. Unfortunately, the current administration does not believe in the concept of repaying debt that it is owed. But today we have an opportunity to advance legislation that ensures these negative outcomes are not borne by consumers. Strikingly, a study has found that nearly 50% of subprime cardholders pay their bills on time. I'll repeat, 50% of subprime credit card owners pay their bills on time. But because of the CFPB's coordinated attack on late fees, these very subprime borrowers who rely on these credit products for day-to-day expenses and the hope for financial elevation in the future will now be charged higher APRs that will inhibit their ability to pay on time. This is why we say this is junk economics. So today I ask my colleagues, do we want subprime borrowers to be disadvantaged? Do we want credit accessibility to be more expensive or unattainable for Americans? Do we want to increase debt burdens on everyday Americans? The answer to all of these questions should be no. To ensure that these bad outcomes don't occur, though, we must pass this resolution to nullify the CFPB's credit card late fee rule. I ask now for unanimous consent to insert letters of support from the following organizations: Americans for Tax Reform, the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, the Consumer Bankers Association, America's Credit Unions, the Bank Policy Institute, the American Bankers Association, the Independent Community Bankers of America, and the Defense Credit Union Council. Without objection, those letters of endorsement of this resolution are submitted for the record. And I will just conclude in support of this resolution of disapproval by saying this. We should not want our consumer protection agencies to encourage bad financial behavior. We should not want our consumer protection agencies to discourage Americans from paying on time, to build up their credit, to achieve financial independence. We should not want our consumer protection agencies to take actions that limit the financial options available to the American people or make access to credit cards more difficult or increase the cost to responsible credit card borrowers. But that is exactly what's happening here. And for the 50% of Americans who live paycheck to paycheck, who might carry a credit card balance, who are subprime borrowers, but pay on time, every month they get that bill. Responsible owners of credit cards This rule punishes them. How in the world does that fulfill the mission of the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau? To take away credit cards, to take away options, and to increase cost for responsible, maybe subprime, maybe struggling people who need access to credit cards. How is that protecting consumers? Well, the answer is obvious. It doesn't protect consumers. And it actually encourages people to trash their own credit. It's disgraceful. That's why we need to pass this resolution of disapproval, and I yield back.